Hi everyone, welcome to LIN8020 Digital Literacies in Practice. Today I'm going to take you through some information on assignment 1, as you may have had some issues with it. Alright, to begin with, we'll look at the outline of it. We will be talking about an overview of assignment 1. And you may already know now that there are 3 different tasks in assignment 1. We will talk about them separately along with their marking rubrics. And I will talk about some information in relation to submission requirements, which is really important. Finally, about due dates as well. All right, to begin with, we have 3 separate tasks in assignment 1. You need to remember each of them are linked together, right? So when it comes to task 1, you may have to also read about task 2 and 3 to see if that could align with task 1. Okay, so to begin with, overview of assignment 1. Assignment 1 is basically a portfolio. It is 40% weightage, and this is all about open education resource for language teachers, right? So this has 3 tasks, so we will be talking about each of them separately. Then these will be completed during the first half of the semester, which we are already doing now. So you are encouraged to create open education resources, and I'll be talking about that as well. And I will show you some examples. When it comes to submission, so it's basically either a blog or a personal website, or it could also be an e-portfolio. So you have a choice. You can go through some of the blogs, websites, and e-portfolios, and then decide as to which one you will be using in this assignment. Okay. So to begin with, first of all, I would like to take you through a bit about Web 2 tools for education, basically. There are lots and lots of Web 2 tools, but I'll be talking about a few of them. So for example, this Padlet is one of the tools that we are using in this assignment. That is where you submit your model in task 1. So I have created a Padlet. I will be showing it in the introduction as to where you're going to find it. And then even Prezi, SlideShare, you may have seen that, or as even Moodle, right? So even your modules are being placed in the Moodle. So these are some of the few Web2 tools that we as teachers can use. So the benefit about Web 2 is basically we can read, write, collaborate. That's the benefit of it. And then Web as a publishing platform. Earlier, it was just a reading platform. You can read it and that's it. But this one, you can publish as well. And then public authorship, that's where we call it as an open education resource. And then it's all about collective intelligence, where we can have our own thoughts in it. So once it comes to our own Padlet platform, you will see how we collaborate our own ideas into one single platform, right? And then open sources can be shared, collaborative, right? And they can be used as a storage platform as well. More importantly, it is multimodal. You don't have to stick to one particular tool, but you can collaborate. Now, for example, I'm using on this, I'm using Zoom as well as a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so That's how we can collaborate. So you have to be creative in thinking as to how you are going to provide education for language learners, basically. Okay, let's move on to open education resource in particular. I was telling you about an open education resource earlier. So Active Success at Uni is one such education open education resource. Hope you can see this. Just give me a sec just to see if this can be seen. No, I will share that again. Okay, so uh, this is one of the open education resources that we created at USQ, including myself. It's all about welcome to, it's all about information regarding writing or getting ready for uni, basically, right? So these are some of the subheadings: essay writing, right? So yeah, so you can just go through and then see how it is. So just type something wrong there. Okay, how to read. So these are some of, and they are clickable. There are some clickable links. Here you go. So that's one thing. So you can just type Active Success at Uni, and we created this on a WordPress. On WordPress, so I will take you through that as well later on. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, so that's all about open education resource. And then this is WordPress. This is the link that you can use. All these are in your modules. Just go through module 1 and 2, and then you can find out. So WordPress, once you just start your website, you can either create your own website, or else it could either be a blog. And then when it comes to task 1, okay, in the first place, what do you need to do? You need to create a Powtoon, right? So I'll take you through that as well. Powtoon, what is it? And then you need to share your visual model, right? Showing your personal structure or schema for language learning and teaching through digital or web tool tools, either one, right? So you can use Powtoon. I'll take you through there and just see if you can. Hope you can see this. So it's going to be some instructions as to how you can create a Powtoon. But I'm not going to play the whole thing. Now that I'll be uploading this PowerPoint presentation, you can probably play it and see it for yourself. And then we have Padlet, where you're going to share your model. Okay, so Powtoon. Okay, I'll take you to the Padlet as well. Just bear with me until it comes up. Okay. Right, so only thing you need to, right, Padlet link, you will find it at the end of modules. So this is the Padlet that we created. What you need to do is, so I just had this one. I just had my little thingy. So when you get to this link, what you need to do is just click on this add plus mark, and you can create your own model on this. right? You can also upload. If you're going to do it in Powtoon, you can share it through this Padlet as well, right? And always I have added a comment section here, and I'll explain it. So I'm going to delete this, right? So when it comes to doing task 2, you can always add your comment when it comes to giving feedback to one of your colleagues' model. Okay, I will go back to the PowerPoint, which I was, okay. So, and then you have task 1, right? Sample example. So I would like to share this. Is just an example I thought of giving it to you. This is done on Powtoon, as you can see here with the logo. Okay. Right. So, all right. And then let's move on to Creative Commons. You have to be aware of Creative Commons license, because being a teacher, even being a teacher, when you share something, maybe an image, maybe a video, you need to see if they are with copyright issues. Otherwise, you will fall into trouble. Therefore, always check Creative Commons of each other image, or maybe a link that you are going to share with students. So it's really easy to do it if you go to Creative Commons website, or else you can just go to maybe Google Images and then click on this tools tile, and then it will come up with several ideas, and then it talks about size, color, usage rights, type, time. So just click the drop down of usage rights, which will show all these options. So being educators, it's all about non-commercial reuse. Either you can say labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. If you are hoping to modify a bit, then that could be this. Then you can click on that, and it will filter you the necessary or sources, right? Okay. Then you have task 1, marking rubric, which you need to look at. So I will share that with you. Okay, so this is task 1 along with its marking rubric. Always, right? Always when you look at a task, don't just depend on the task sheet, but look at the marking rubric as well, right? So this is all about task 1, which we were already talking about. In module 2 activities, you are asked to use a digital tools such as Canva or Powtoon. So you can go through Canva or Powtoon. I am more towards Powtoon because I have done lots of presentations through Powtoon, but it's up to you. You can select whichever you want. And you need to develop and share a visual model or infographic showing your personal structure or schema for language learning and teaching through digital and or Web2 tools. Okay, hope it's clear. But if you have any question, you feel free to email me at any time. Okay, so this is the marking rubric. Okay, so basically there are 2 sections: clarity of visual components and design, and then clarity of relationships, connections and flow, and then applicability to language learning and teaching, inclusion of digital tool or Web2 tools. Okay, so these are the 4 sections, and you can see some numbering here from 0 to 5. So 0 is not present at all. That means maybe visual component not at all there. But if it's going to be 5, what's it? Model is visually compelling and easy to interpret through highly effective and innovative combinations of text, shapes, and other visual components. Okay, so go through the rubrics, have a thorough read, and then you will see what is expected from you in creating this task 1. All right. And I have also uploaded these onto the study desk. But if you find difficult, and they are in one of the forums as well. Okay, I'll go back to my presentation. All right, so let's move on to task 2. Once you have done task 1, we need to look at the others on Padlet and provide feedback. It should be, remember, constructive and critical, right? You need to be critical, but at the same time, just make sure they are constructive as well, okay? And when it comes to providing feedback, as I showed you on Padlet, I have enabled the option of including comments there. So once you go through one of your colleagues' model, just provide the feedback in that comments section. Plus, you need to figure out the forum that I have created. It's called Portfolio Share and Peer Review Forum, right? So you will see this forum, Portfolio Share and Peer Review Forum. This should be only 200 words, right? So whatever you have included in that Padlet, on the Padlet, in the comment section, you can always copy that and paste it on this forum as well. But remember, when you are doing this, just make sure that you include your colleague's name in it as well, so then it's easy for us to go back and refer to it. Excuse me. Okay, hope this is clear. But when it comes to providing feedback, right, the thing that you cannot say, you cannot be superficial. You rather need to touch upon all the theories that are given in these modules, right? I'll get back to that later on. And then let's move on to its marking rubric, which is once again shared. Just bear with me. Okay, so this is task 2, task sheet plus the marking rubric. So these were already there. So let's see what elements you need to consider when it comes to giving constructive critical feedback. Right, so provision of peer feedback. How is it checked for? Feedback is detailed, comprehensive, perceptive, all these things. The comments identify strengths and possible challenges of the model and offer suggestions for change. You need to be aware if it's timely, its tone, it is courteous and encouraging, all these things. And more importantly, you need to be analytical. So to make it analytical, you need to base your discussion on a theory. Okay, so again, just read through the rubric before you address the task. Okay, I'll go back to the PowerPoint. All right, and task 3. This is going to be 1,000 words, right? And it's worth 20% weightage. As I told you from the beginning, all these 3 tasks are interwoven. They are linked together, all right? So this is basically about writing an informative and engaging Remember these two words, informative and engaging. 1,000-word blog or web posting, or it could either be e-portfolio, whichever you prefer, right? And so you need to create a blog. You need to be aware of the style of blogs. That means it's not going to be an essay, not a standard essay, nor a lesson plan. Okay, so remember, you are going to share your ideas about language teaching theories or your model amongst educators who are interested in using digital media, right? So remember the audience, and depending on that, you need to create your own web or blog when it comes to discussing your own model. Now, one thing, I need to go back to your task 1 at this point. We had a draft model in task 1. It is clear. And you had some feedback from your colleagues in task 2. Now consider how you can improve or develop your model if it has been, if it needed any development according to the feedback. Okay, so remember that and do those developments according to the given feedback. And this task 3 needed to include not the draft model, but you can develop your final version of the model. Is it clear? So you can develop the model that you came up with when it comes to having task 3. And depending and looking at that, you're going to elaborate on it in task 3. Okay, and I'll be talking you through this again when we meet face to face, right? And when it comes to this task 3, once again, you need to be aware of citations, references, video, quotations, all these things in alignment with APA referencing guide. Okay, and then it should be no more than, they should be no more than 3 years old. So it clearly says, because for example, it's digital, it's web too, so you need to be updated, and similarly you need to have some contemporary research embedded in this. Okay, right, let's go back to the marking rubric of task 3 as well. All right, so this is it. You need to have an introduction, right? And then you need to have, you can always have some subheadings which are really interesting and engaging, right? So it's a blog basically. Remember that in the first place. Once you have the introduction, then you talk about the rationale, right? So these are the points that you need to look at, and then the learning and the tools, right? How they are being used and whatnot. So as I told you earlier, just look at all the marking rubrics which I have also uploaded prior to addressing the task. Okay, then the structure is this, where you have a title. So I have highlighted the fact that you need to use creative headings. This is a media piece, not an essay. You need to remember that. Okay, and then introduction, it should be again, it should be again engaging, short, but still needs to capture the reader's interest. Okay, so these are the things that you need to look at. you need to be aware of the context, but do not use any identifying names, locations, right? Because why? This is where I was talking about Creative Commons license now and open education resource. Your model is going to be shared amongst in the open world where there are no restrictions. Anyone can access it. So you need to be aware of other people's privacy, all those things. Ethically, we cannot share identified names if not for given permission. So you need to be aware of that because this is going to be an open source, right? And your concept of authentic, it should be authentic. Sorry. So you need to be aware of the learners, the context, and digital literacies as well. Right. So this is another thing that you need to be sorry, aware of. Don't be confused. Now you had task 1 on the Padlet, task 2 on the Padlet in the comment section as well as in the forum. All right. When it comes to task 3, you need to compile all 3 tasks into one original model. I hope you know how to use the snipping tool, right? I'll show you that in my introduction Zoom, but you can, yes, just use the snipping tool and take screenshots of your task 1. And if it's going to be PowerTone, then share the link on the Word document of task 3. So all 3 tasks should be compiled in this assignment, assignment 1 when you submit it on the 18th of December. Okay, right. All right. So I was telling you, when you create this model, when you critique the other colleagues' model, and when you do the task 3, basically, right, you need to consider some theories. That is where you can show your analytical skills. So some of the theories and models are these. Theories and models of SLA, what does that stand for? Second language acquisition. And then theories of FLA, that is first language acquisition. And then teaching strategies to support EAL, OD, that means English as an additional language or as an additional dialect, it could be. Okay, so these have been clearly given in your module. So just go through, read more, and then you will have a thorough understanding as to how you're going to create your own model to suit language learners. And so these are some of the theories. So for second language learners, right, these are the theories. So you have all these. So it involves a bit of a reading, right? So these are some of the first language acquisition theories, so behaviorist, nativist, functional, okay? And then you have teaching strategies to support English as an additional language or dialect students, right? Along with all of them, you need to consider relevant Web2 tools. Okay, I hope it's clear for you now. All right, let's move on to assignment 1 due dates. I do apologize about the confusion that you had, but still we are looking at a few areas that need to be fixed on study desk, which will be fixed really soon. But these are the deadlines. Once again, I have uploaded it onto the forum, right? So always look at the forums and either send me your questions through the forum, or you can always send me an email if you don't want to have them published in the open education resource, right? Okay, that's all for today. So if you have anything, just contact me. Um, and good luck with your assignment. Okay, see you.